Pitch and fire. It's on the... He made it! Oh my God! Wow!
Catch and fire. It's on the...
He made it! Oh my God!
Hi, and welcome to Platt Arena here at FDN Sports. I'm here with Carson and Abdul Kamar. Now, we got a great matchup on our hands. We have Huntington University versus Grace College, excuse me. Carson, what you think? What you looking to this game so far?
Well, right now what we're looking at this game is going to be a close matchup with some good shooting. Last time the Foresters played the Lancers, it was at Grace just a few days before winter break, but the Foresters fell, and we'll call it a controversial loss. A disputed last-second foul on Spencer Ballinger sent the Grace Lancers to the line for two, which they hit both, and the Foresters weren't able to take that last shot. So obviously the Foresters with vengeance on their mind today, but they're going to have to stay strong, finish this game out, and get the ball around the court in order to take a victory today.
Exactly. Last game we saw Connor Platt was scored 16 points against Grace College, and following behind him was Ballinger and Caleb Middlesworth. Now, with that being said, are you expecting a great game for from Huntington? Who are you expecting to score crazy, and what do you think is going to happen?
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this is a high-scoring game, as both teams has been able to showcase. And also, one thing that you got to look at with the Foresters, out of their, how many losses is right now, most of them have been the top 25 or receiving votes teams.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about this Crossroads League. If you look at it, most of the teams are ranked in the top 25. I think 7 out of the 10 are ranked or receiving votes. So the Foresters have as a young team, the starting lineup today only has one senior in Connor Platt and 2 sophomores and a freshman and then a junior. So obviously a younger team, but this team does have a lot of potential, and that's what we're looking to see if they can show that potential today.
And having a younger team, you hope you could mold them in a great way for the future. You always look forward to the future having a younger team.
Absolutely, and also one thing we have to look at is we have Peyton West back. He's been performing really well since he's been back. Connor Platt, like you said, scored 16 points last time. He's been on fire the entire year. And also, one thing we got to look for Coach Platt is we've seen the substitutions be a little bit thin with Coach Platt. We've seen the starting 5 out for almost entire halves, nearly entire games in the case of Connor Platt. So one thing we're going to be looking for is see if Coach Platt maybe makes a few substitutions here, and then especially in the late game. Because one thing that we've seen with this Forester squad all year is rather they're losing and then they come back and make it close and then kind of crumble in the last few minutes, or they have a lead and lose in the last few minutes. So obviously the Foresters are going to have to finish this game out once again to make a victory today.
Exactly. So Carson, let's go over the keys to the game as we have our last minute here. So for Huntington, we're going to have get rebounds, control the boards, because if you control the boards, you control the points. And of course, pass the ball. Allow the ball to move through everybody. And then lastly, finish the game strong and start the game strong, like you said, Carson. And what do we have for Grace?
For Grace, they have to control the ball. They've had quite a few turnovers, especially in the last game, and that is something that can kill a basketball team if we're going to go to fundamentals of the game. But you don't want to kill the team. You don't want to kill your game, and that's what's going to be the key for the Lancers to take another victory today.
And, of course, get to the line. And now, finally, we'll be right back here at FDN Sports. Abdul Kamar,
Carson Watkins.
Have a nice day.
This is how we like to do it.
back to FDN Sports. We're going to now look into the starting lineup for Grace College. Number 3, we have Braxton Linville. He's a guard. He's a senior, 6'2". Number 10, Hayden Digton. He's a freshman. He's a forward. He's a junior, 6'5". Number 25, Miles Johnson. He's a forward. Freshman, 6'6". And number 32, Jarrett Sun. He's a forward, senior, 6'7". And number 33, Charlie Warner, forward, senior, 6'5". And now to for Huntington's lineup, Carson.
For the Foresters, we have starting at guard, number 0, Peyton West, only in his sophomore year, standing at 6'1". Also at guard, we have number 3, Connor Platt, a key to our game. You know, he's going to have to get to the three-point line and make those shots if they want to win today. Senior, one of the highlights of this Forester team. Then we got at forward, number 4, Caleb Middlesworth, also a sophomore, towering above everyone at 6'8". And once again, another 6'8" guy, freshman Hank Pulver, has made an impact on this team from the first day he walked in here to Platt Arena, and we expect to see that from him today. And finally, at number 23, forward Spencer Ballinger, a sophomore, standing at 6'5". You know, one thing we're going to look for is, the disadvantage is the age difference. As you mentioned, we have 3 seniors on the court for Grace and only 1 for the Foresters. So obviously that age difference is going to be a factor here. But we also have to look at the height difference. 2 6'8" players on the floor right now will come in handy in the paint, especially when Clyde Curie gets subbed in, and we see what he can do in the paint as well. So that's going to be really interesting to see when we get started here.
And you're not lying there, Carson. You got to say, when the team has experience, it's a different ball game. Compared to when the team is young. A lot of things can happen and a lot of things can happen. So, you hope for the best for this team, and we'll see what both teams could bring to the table today.
Absolutely, and just like we mentioned previously, that last game that these 2 squads played was an incredibly controversial finish, but it was pretty neck and neck the entire game. That's what we should be expecting here.
Yes, sir. And now we're here for the tip-off. And the tip-off goes to Grace College. Oh, almost out there. Wow. Losing his footing already. Down to Hank. Back to Connor. Now to Spencer Bollinger. Back out to Caleb. Now to West. To Platt again. And we'll see him here now. We have Hank now going in. And, of course, Caleb Middlesworth with the layup, but unable to make it. Yikes. And now Grace College taking it down back to court.
We saw good passing right there in that paint, but one thing, Caleb Middlesworth was quite guarded. Both those shots were risky. It's a good thing he's able to pull down his own rebound. Once again, they still have to move the ball around as the Grace College misses their first shot of the game.
And of course, and like we said, Carson, we wanted to have a quick start for these 2 teams. They had to get a good start and get that foundation on point. Bollinger now with the layup, and he makes it. That was a beautiful one there for Spencer Bollinger. Grace College now taking in the field. Of course, you see number 3, Linville. Down to the paint. Number 35, number 32, Suns with a great layup there.
Now here comes Peyton West. Let's see what they can do now.
West, ball back to West. Looking to go inside. Passes out to Connor Platt. Back to West. See Platt now toying around with his defender here. Middlesworth in the paint. Gonna take it in.
They're gonna catch him with a travel.
Wow. I see that there though.
One thing that you have to mention about Caleb Middlesworth is he is an incredibly physical player. You see that almost every time he goes in the paint. A couple body checks inside there.
You're not lying there. You're definitely right about that, Carson. And you could only hope that, he would be able to. Oh, another travel there for Grace College, number 25, Johnson.
Got to be careful. That's a basic fundamental of the game. You got to dribble, and you can't move your feet if you pick it up. We're going to go back to basics here. Here comes Peyton West. He's going to take up the floor now, and he passes it off to Pulver. Connor misses the 3. But Middlesworth, once again, rebounding, keeping it going. Now Pulver has it. It's going to be tipped, and it's going to fall into the arms of Suns.
Zach Johnson now doing his thing back to Linville. Again, trying to conduct his team, looking for something. And here you see him going out. Passes out to number 10, Deaton. West now, Middlesworth with the rebound. West to Hank. Hank now with the layup and just unable to make it. Spencer Ballinger able to get a hand on that ball, just wasn't able to capitalize to his teammates. So how would you call this start so far? It's 2-2. You know,
it's been a defensive battle that I didn't expect already. You know, even those 2 turnovers, both on travels, were incredibly interesting to see. But you know, one thing we also have to mention, if you can notice, Connor Platt with a knee brace on today. We're gonna have to see how that affects his game. But here comes Spencer Ballinger.
Back to Peyton West now. And West again. Foul there on 32. Jarrett Sons.
Now we're going to see the Forces having a little bit of trouble with this inbound passes here. It is incredibly difficult, especially with that size right in front of Peyton West, but he executed it with precision as he sends it back to Pulver at half court, kind of resetting the possession here. Now Connor Platt takes it. He's looking for anything. Connor Platt to the right side, sends it back out to Pulver. Pulver's going to drive in, layup, no good. Platt tips it in almost himself, but it will not, and that will be recovered by Suns yet again. And a sloppy pass there by the Lancers.
But a great steal there for the Foresters. Now back down to West, and we'll see. Goes up for the 3, and he just doesn't make it. Middlesworth almost with the rebound. But number 10, Dayton was able to get that rebound there for his team. Now Linville down, taking it down the court. Passes it to Warner. Warner to Suns. Back to Dayton. Dayton with the layup there. Platt now taking it up the court. You have Ballinger now with the ball. West again with the ball. Again, you see them slowing the play down here. You know, trying to figure out what's going to happen. Not really passing the ball as much, but just looking for the open man. Middlesworth taking it in for the layup, and the hook shot just didn't fall there.
Forster's having a little bit of trouble inside and outside the paint right now, and that's going to be, like I said, I thought it was going to be an offensive game, but only 6 combined points in this first 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Not what I was expecting, but let's see if the Forsters on this possession can grab 2, as Ballinger does it for him.
Does it again for his team.
Now here comes Miller. Miller's going to dribble the ball outside the paint. He's going for something. He finds Suns on the outside. He's going to take a 3. No good. And Middlesworth and Suns go in for that one together, but Middlesworth comes out victorious after a bit of a battle. Now here comes Peyton West. Peyton West to Spencer Ballinger. Ballinger looking for something. He sends it over to Platt on a long pass. Peyton West grabs that one. Ballinger, step back, not going to take it. Ballinger back to Middlesworth, back to Ballinger again. Here comes Platt. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Peyton West going to dribble this one, looking for something. Middlesworth with the pick. Connor Platt, 3 ball for number 3, and that is good.
That's how you do it there, Carson. You know, you find the passes, you get the team pass, you get that ball flowing, and you get that open man. And of course, now we see Linville taking it up for his team here.
And a slammaroo!
Suns took it in the paint there. Pass that Johnson just wanted that one.
I'm just glad the backboard didn't break. He pulled that one down.
Listen, they get aggressive. It's all passion and dedication here. West now trying to take it in, and West unable to. Got a little bit bumped there on that layup, but he's getting back up. All well seems well. Suns again with the ball, taking the shot just off there. And it's over the back there by Johnson.
And that'll be a timeout for the Foresters, and that'll be a push-off foul, as we're going to see a couple of substitutions coming for the Foresters after this one. So,
honestly, what did you see in that first little segment there, Carson.
So 6 minutes in, we've only had 11 points. A surprising statistic, but one thing we have to see is both teams are playing very aggressively on defense. It was something I didn't expect. I thought this was going to be an offensive battle, but nonetheless, I am surprised about that one. But one thing that we have to see is the Foresters are having trouble on their basic shots like the layups, and that's something that they've struggled with in certain parts of the game. Other times they're on fire. So we're going to have to take advantage of that one on the shots. And for the Lancers, they're playing aggressively inside, but they're not pulling down rebounds. And that's something that is going to be a key for both teams, considering their rebound percentages. We've seen a couple of Forester offensive rebounds, especially for Caleb Middlesworth, who's playing in the paint. And right now, Clyde Keurig's coming in, and Keurig is 6'11". So they're going to have to take that into account. A 4 more inches than Middlesworth. And we know Clyde can pull on those rebounds. And even if he grabs an offensive rebound, most likely he's just going to take it up for a dunk himself. And he doesn't even have to, he just doesn't really jump. He can just kind of put an MJ in there, just drop it.
You know. And this, like you said, it's going off to a slow start here. But what are you expecting them to, when are you expecting the Foresters or the Lancers to really take shift here in the game?
I think the thing is it's going to be a game of momentum here. And whoever gets the first hot streak is gonna start taking advantage of it. So and I think that's what we've seen a lot in the Crossroads League, especially with the Foresters. We've seen a lot of back and forth games. You look at Mount Vernon. You look when they played Grace on the road. You look when they played Indiana Wesley on the road. There was a couple times they kept it close and came back and just couldn't quite close it out. And that's going to be somewhere to look for in the second half and see if the Foresters can do some more substitutions.
Ballinger was in the paint there. Peyton West now with the ball again, trying to see what he can do here. Slowing it down, trying to utilize all his opportunities. Of course, back to Ballinger. Back to Yoder, and it was a travel. They called him. It was probably just a mishap on the pass.
Yeah, it was. I'm surprised about that call. It was bobbled there for a second, so I don't think he ever gained full possession of it, which I believe would have given him the ball. But nonetheless, play resumes.
Jennings now pass it back to Jennings, of course, and now we see Jennings to Sons to Johnson. Johnson looking for the team.
Also, one thing, look at that travel. Coach Platt didn't say anything. So if Coach Platt didn't say anything about the call, it was a good call.
Most likely. West now taking it back up here. Yoder now with the ball.
And a steal there on a bad pass. And here comes Yoder. And he gets a little split leg there with a two-pointer.
Jennings able to just do his thing there and get that layup. I got to give it to him.
Yeah. I did like his little split leg MJ move there. That was pretty awesome. Now Yoder has it, and here goes into Clyde. Let's see what Clyde does. He's going to try to go up for it himself. No, he will not. And a stuff!
That was something. That's Vert money. And the Suns almost wanting the rebound, but Johnson unable to dunk that ball.
Two missed dunks there.
They're trying to get aggressive out here today, Carson.
Looking for that spark. Like I said, that first spark might do it.
And out to Middlesworth, and Middlesworth with the three, and it goes down for Middlesworth. And that's what you got to look for, man. You got to get that pass, and that was some great play there from West to Ballinger to Middlesworth. You got to give it to him.
2 easy assists right there, and a little stat padding for both those guys. Now we're going to see Shilley take this one as Ballinger with tough defense on Deaton, and Deaton takes that one in. 2 bounces off, and we have a tie game.
Still fighting for that. You got to give it to him on that one.
Now Peyton West takes this one up himself.
Back to Yoder. Now out to Ballinger.
And another steal. I think that's about number 3 or 4 on the day for the Foresters. Some sloppy play. They're very fortunate the Lancers are having trouble on offense, as you see right there with a missed three-pointer, and they haven't been able to complete those turnovers for more points. The Foresters might have a much larger deficit right now than a tie game at 10.
You're not lying there. You got to let every shot count, take every opportunity like it's your last. And of course now back to West. Ballinger just unable to get that step back shot there.
He did get a push off, so I believe that it will be 2 for Ballinger, and it will.
Yes, it will.
As we see Connor Platt and Lou Wang going to come into this one. That's one thing, I've been surprised not to see Lou Wang in the starting 5 here, but, he's a very talented player, did play at the University of Maine, so he has that D1 experience that most of the guys on this team doesn't have, but he came to Huntington for some playing time, and he's getting it right here.
You can't blame him here. Platt now in for West. Ballinger again taking a shot.
And he sinks them both.
Ballinger now sitting down for Wang. And like you were talking earlier, Carson, you said Platt's really kind of thin with the rotation on submissions. So we'll see what he can do with the submissions today.
And it's not like he doesn't have the depth on the roster. Like I said, we have Clyde Keary, who's not in the top 5. David Aarons, who is in the top 5.
Yes, sir.
Drew Johnson, who's not in the top 5, and a foul right there. But it's not like this team is lacking the depth to where the starting 5 just have to carry the whole team on their back. And even if you can look for the big guy in Wyatt Hughes should get a couple of minutes in, but we'll have to see what Coach Platt's strategy is today. And obviously, the Foresters sitting at number 9 right now in the Crossroads League standings. If they carry this number 9 spot out all the way to the end, they will not make the Crossroads League tournament, and that does not sound like good news on Coach Platt's ears
at all. And that is not what he's trying to do here. He's trying to capitalize every opportunity he gets.
Second shot goes up, and it'll be good. Tie game yet again.
Again, doing his thing. Now we see Deaton sit down for Warner. Wang now taking the ball up here. Again, we see what Wang can do. Looking for his team. There it is, past the Yoder.
Here comes Middleworth with his drive. He goes up with it and banks it off the top glass.
Beautiful, beautiful bank there. Bank shot there by Middlesworth. Yeah, Jennings again with the ball, passing that out.
Stuffed by Clyde Keary. What did I say when he came in? You have to notice that extra 4 inches that he has on almost every player in this lineup. And they paid for it right there by not noticing it. He tried to go low with it. If you're going to try to beat Clyde Keary, you got to go up a little bit. You can't throw it right into his hand like that.
You're not lying there. You're definitely not lying there. Clyde is not no small guy. Jennings now with the ball up top. Again, driving inside here.
And a foul called, I believe. That will be on number
10. Oh, kind of playing the rest here. Having a nice little go back and forth. It's cute. Jennings now with the shot. Goes in. And again, we see here, scored 14-13. Neck and neck game so far.
Just as we predicted, I knew this was going to be a shootout, but the question is who gets the momentum as Clyde Keary and Caleb Middlesworth went for that rebound. But here comes Connor Platt. Gets a pick from Middlesworth.
Passes it to Wang. Back to Connor Platt with the little jab step. Oh, the jab step and the 3 there by Platt. Great shot. That was a 3-point there. Now giving them 17 points. Suns now with the ball. Looking out here. Passes it to Smith. Back to Jennings. And Jennings doing a little crossover switcheroos here. Number 5. Holmes just not making it. Suns going back up. And Clyde doing a great job of being colossal.
And that's why he is in the top 50 of all blocks in NAIA Division II men's basketball. And that's why he does it. That extra height, as I mentioned, you can't mention it enough. That extra height is crucial for this Forester squad.
Yes, sir. You're not lying there.
Even in conversation with Clyde, he had D1 offers, but still decided to come here to HU, and I think he's liking it so far.
It's an opportunity that HU gives their students, I just got to say, Carson. Middlesworth with the 3-point shot now. Yoder just unable to get it, and it seemed like Holmes was just on top of Yoder right there. Foul on number 12.
That foul, if both these shots are made right here, I even think this 4-point deficit might be the largest deficit either squad has faced today. So something to take advantage of. Is this the spark the Foresters needed to go on a run here before half?
Exactly.
And maybe, or maybe not, go into the half with a good lead.
And we'll see, like you said, we'll see, Carson, both teams neck and neck, fighting a great fight right now, doing everything they can just to keep their team in the lead and ahead. Jennings now taking the ball down, passes it out to Smith. Jennings back with the ball. Dayton now with the ball again. Ooh, little switcheroo there, and just unable to grab that one. Warner off with the layup there. Platt now bringing it up, looking for his teammates here. Passes the ball to Clyde. Clyde back to Platt. Wang with the shot. Air ball. That was something special. And Yoder now taking that layup. That's a great one there.
About an 8-0 run right now for the Foresters, or a 9-0 run. So let's, like, once again, here comes that momentum that they needed, that both teams knew that they would have to have coming into this game, and we have to see where the Lancers can capitalize as they try to cut the lead, and they are unable to do it.
Again, Clyde doing a great job of getting the rebound here, and that was what we talked about too as well. Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. You control the board, you control the points. And here we go. Wang again with the ball. Looking for his team. Yoder now. Again, I feel like Foresters aren't passing the ball fast enough here, you know. The rotations are really stand still, you know. And Yoder now with the shot. And that's in, baby. That's in. That's what he needed. And there goes your senior on the team there, right there, Carson. That's your experience, you know.
That's the leader right there. And, you know, when Connor Platt leaves, there's going to be a big hole in this program. But, you know, we've seen what this young team can do, and I really think this team could compete with the best in the Crossroads League coming up before we lose Ballinger, we lose Middlesworth. And, you know, a couple of these guys, David Aarons, Middlesworth, both played for Oak Hill, as did Spencer Ballinger. All three of those guys played for Oak Hill, and, you know, they know what it's like to win a state championship. So obviously they might want to grab a championship in college as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how they perform, especially coming into their junior and senior years. Those junior and senior years will be critical to this Forester squad and the future of it, because if these two juniors, if the large amount of freshmen, juniors, and seniors or sophomores on this team could help recruiting,
yes,
then they could obviously keep
make a huge difference, and the growth of this program will definitely be there. Jennings now taking the ball up here. Of course, we see he's looking for his team. He passes out to Deaton. Back to Smith. And we see Warner now with the ball. Back to Smith, and Smith now with the shot, and just off. Again, Lancers doing everything they can to get this ball in the bucket, but it's just not hitting what they got to hit.
And that is one thing about the Crossroads League. When you look at every lineup, you see a lot of homegrown talent, you know, outside of a few odd ones out here, you know, like Louis Wang, who came from Taiwan. But,
exactly, you know.
But, you know, it's mostly Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, where all three teams are. And so, you know, that talent pool, especially at this level, is a little bit thinner out when you look around the high school. So once they start recruiting from Huntington North, Homestead, Carroll, maybe like Oak Hill, we've got a lot of Oak Hill players coming up here. Keep that tradition going. That's gonna help fall heavily on the shoulders of some of these younger blood on the team.
We have a full timeout here by Foresters. So what are you expecting here, Carson? I mean, like, obviously we see it's a neck-and-neck game, not necessarily anymore. It's 24-13 Foresters, but what do the Lancers have to do to get back in this game?
Well, let me speak a little first grade basketball here. They need to score. It's been about 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes since the last time they were able to let one fall.
Yeah.
And that has led to the Foresters. You know, they're scoring, you know, a 9-0 run in that 5 minutes as well. Isn't really what you expect, especially when you're grabbing almost every rebound.
Yeah.
So, you know, both teams are going to have to look for the bottom of that net and to keep running the score up, especially with the Foresters. You know, another nice run here in the last 7 minutes could lead to some confidence going into the half.
Yes, sir. And, like, it's crazy, too, because I feel like the Foresters, though they're not, you know, they're not passing as effectively as we want them to, they're still making opportunities and still finding those chances to capitalize on the ball, you know?
Absolutely.
However, if you look at the Lancers, it was Smith who just took the last shot, and it wasn't that great. Like, they're hitting the mark, but they're not hitting the mark.
And also, if you look at the Lancers' last 2 points, they both came from free throws, so they are at the line now. So whoever goes to the line here is going to have the opportunity to finally get some points on the board for this squad. But, you know, the free throws aren't what change the momentum. You know, getting your bench up after a three-pointer or a nice layup or something, that's what gets the hype going. And, you know, and even shooting well or a good offensive mood to beat out your defenders. What gets the crowd hype, what gets your fans hype, what gets the bench hype.
Exactly.
As the first one sinks, finally getting the Lancers a point.
Holmes doing a great job here. And let me see, now down by 10. Goes up again.
That one will be missed, so now it is 14-24, 10-point deficit for the Lancers.
Yoder now driving the ball up here. And we see Ballinger. Ballinger doing a great job there on that spin move and just couldn't get the ball to fall. Great rebound there by Holmes.
Was there accidentally a double rim plate replaced? We've seen that in the girls' game as well. A couple balls that spun around, went in and out.
You know.
Who greased up the backboard last night? That's my question. And that jump ball will go to the Foresters.
Now we see Wang sitting down for West. And Platt sitting down for Middlesworth.
So here we go. As we mentioned, Ty Platt being a little less stingy with those substitutions today.
And that's how you do it. I'm just, honestly.
And it's working. It's obviously working. That if that starting five was still out there.
Utilize your bench. That's
Hank Pulver embarrassed his family. Look at him.
With the bucket.
Wow.
We're sorry. You weren't ready. We know. We saw you.
Woo.
Samuel Hawk and Hank. Woo! That was different there, Carson. We weren't ready.
And that was the momentum that he needed. Oh my gosh!
Just woke everybody up. All right, we see you, Hank.
I'm sorry if anybody was taking a nap at home. I didn't mean to wake you up like that, but my gosh!
And he hits the and one. I mean, and now we see Lancers again come back up here. Smith now with the ball. We'll see what he can do with it. Looking for the opportunity.
I remember the first time Hank Pulver, I saw him on the floor, it was against Judson College during the Hall of Fame tournament. And I was a little bit surprised to see so much him on the floor so early. And I'll never forget the way that crowd went so excited that night when he grabbed that, when he blocked that shot, picked it up himself, and ran it down the court and got that layup in a three-pointer.
Honestly. Oh, Ballinger went down here. Lancers weren't able to capitalize on that opportunity.
He did go down. It looks like Clyde Geary's already going to come in for him. I don't know. He's limping a little bit as he goes to the team doctor.
Yeah, that's a hard one to swallow there. You definitely don't want to see your players go off like that.
Yeah, he's going to go out the doors now here in Platt Arena and probably go back to the medical tent, but once again, that's where that depth comes.
We pray for him and wish him the best. Hope for a fast recovery. Like to see him come back in this game.
I hope so too. We can't really quite tell what's going on.
Middlesworth now with the ball. Passes it to Hank, back to Middlesworth. And of course, we'll see now. Of course, like you said, Carson, Middlesworth's using that physical physique to get that spin off and that nice little drop in there for the 2 points.
And this is what the Foresters needed. This large lead, almost a double digits, almost 20, about 15-point lead right now is exactly where you want to be if you're a Forester or a Forester fan at home.
Yeah. And
he gets a lot of that ball. Are they going to call him for a foul? I can't quite tell, and they will catch him on the foul. Couldn't quite see it at first, but here comes Connor Platt yet again. They're letting the starting five sit down, take a drink, watch a little bit of the game, and send them back in there.
And I like this rotation movement. I can't lie to you on that one, Carson.
And and also that will avoid fatigue as Connor's gonna come in for Clyde Geary.
Exactly. And that's it for me, Carson. That's a big thing. If you're able to utilize your bench, because you never know. There's a lot of basketball still left to play.
There is.
So you never know when you're gonna need to utilize, that star player or that one person.
Or even some of those guys off the bench who don't get the playing time as some of the other ones. We've seen some players come in and make an impact.
And able to make both of those free throws. West now bringing the ball up here. And of course, you see pass to Platt. Platt looking out. And still there by Johnson. Platt just unable to really pass the ball momentarily. And Johnson with the beautiful spin move around Platt for that nice layup there.
Good job by Hank Pulver on the effort there, though. Hank Pulver was looking in the face of a bad situation and still decided to go up for that shot. He could have almost been called for goaltending, but he tried to pull a LeBron and slap it off the backboard.
You got to do what you got to do.
Pulver again sends us to Middlesworth. Back to Pulver. Over to West. 8 seconds left in the shot clock. If West's going to make something happen, he has to do it fast, and he does it himself. Drains it!
When the wind blows east, you got to watch out for the West. I've been telling y'all. Come on now. Johnson trying to give it back, and he just unable to hit that shot there. Of course, you got Yoder now coming up with the ball. Passes to Middlesworth in the paint. Middlesworth fakes the pass out to Pulver. Pulver driving in here, looking for it, wanting it with the hook, and it goes in. That's how you do it.
And one thing to look at right now for the Lancers is most of these 18 points have come off of free throws.
Yeah.
So they're not performing well against this Forester defense, and that's going to hurt them in the long run, especially if the Foresters can keep this up going into the locker rooms.
Passes out here. Johnson now with the ball, looking to see what he can do. Passes it out to Jennings, I believe. West, Jennings not able to make the shot. West to pass it to Pulver.
Once again, a missed opportunity offensively for the Lancers.
Pulver back. Yoder now with the ball. Platt grabbing it. Everybody's touching the ball here on the Huntington squad. And Platt now going up for the layup and almost, but not there yet.
Still going to look for 2 points as we see a dead ball here, and Clyde Curie's going to sit in front of the scorer's table looking for his time in for a couple more minutes.
You got to take that time. And you see 2 prospects here facing down court here as Platt's taking a shot, West and Pulver. These 2 right here are the future of this program. As you
Absolutely. And as I mentioned before, you know, even if you know, Hank tells some of his friends back at school how much he likes this program, you know, we hear around, and maybe even people watching on FDN Sports.
In the business world, they call it networking.
They call it networking. Yes, they do.
You know, working the net and networking. It's all in its own game. Platt's able to make both of them.
And especially looking at the recruiting power, schools like Indiana Wesleyan and Marion have, you know, football programs along with their basketball programs. And, you know, we've seen D1. I mean, even last year there was one gentleman who played at Indiana Wesleyan who had experience at Kansas University.
And not able to get that layup there. Great steal by Hank. West now passing it. Platt now with the ball. West again with the ball. And we'll see Middlesworth passing it back. Middlesworth throwing a... Ref calls it on Middlesworth. I think it's
a shocker.
Almost called it a legal screen. Middlesworth not really happy with that call, but hey, listen, it's on a day's work for the ref, you know. Like our great friend Ryan would say, if Noah Tobias was here, it'd be a different story. And Johnson now with the ball in the wing. Again, looking to see what he can do. Takes the shot here. Not able to make it. That's his second 3 he's attempted, and he's not making them. I think he should look to pass the ball just a tad bit more.
Maybe even try to drive one in from beyond the arc. And here comes Clyde Curie. He's going to take that one up. It's going to roll off the top of the rim.
Man, we've seen a lot of that rolling today with these balls and these shots, man. Again, we got Linville.
And Peyton West tells him to take a seat.
Are they calling a technical on Peyton?
Peyton West again gets the technical.
They're going to call a technical on him, but I'm not sure why. That's
sarcastic nature, man. It's okay, though, because when the wind blows east, you still got to watch out for the west. So ain't nothing crazy, ain't nothing special.
I'm not exactly sure what he even. There was a large group surrounding him when that happened.
Yeah, I couldn't get a real good view from back here.
And Coach Platt's trying to make his case, and I don't think Peyton West is very happy about that one either. And even the assistant coaches we have assistant coach Mark Green up right now, kind of making his case too. But the refs aren't hearing it, and Peyton West is still trying to make his case as he makes the first one, and even a little bit of a disappointed Forrester faithful behind us, as he makes both of them. And Peyton West is going to take a C, obviously frustrated. He's still making his case to his bench now.
All in a day's work, man. Listen, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't even, there's really not a lot of explanation on what the call was. They just teed him up and gave him, and flashed the 0 at us, so.
All right, Jennings now inbounding the ball to Linville. Dayton now has the ball. Of course, Jennings now with it. Doing a little crossover move here. Deaton from the shot. And just able to make it. Platt to get in that rebound. Great rebound there by Connor Platt. Now looking for his team.
Now here comes Wang. Wang sends that one out to Platt. Platt sends that one into Pulver. Not Pulver, my apologies. That's Yoder.
Yoder now taking that step back and woo! Come on now. That turnaround, that spin and hop is something different. You call that IHOP.
IHOP. Now you got me hungry. I'm ready for some pancakes now.
Man, you and me both. It's been a day.
It's been a long day. Got here at about 11:30 to set up for the girls' game, but now we're here at the men's game. And another block shot.
Block there. Lance is just getting blocked a little bit all day today. Yoder now rushing the ball up here. Passes it to Wang. Wang out to Platt. Back to Wang. And Wang now trying to drive in here. Slips up a little bit. Out to Yoder. And Yoder gets that nice good foul. Good call there for the ref.
And also, great job by Wang not to travel. He slid and kept that 1 foot planted the entire time.
That's that D1 experience right there.
Now the Foresters are working with a bonus for this last 55 seconds, so that's gonna. I doubt there's gonna be an intentional foul, but any foul could be amplified for the Lancers.
Most definitely.
And that one's gonna be missed, unfortunately. But here comes the Lancers.
Jennings now with the ball. Holding it up here. Back to Linville. Trying to communicate to the team here, trying to see what they're going to do. Again, you see the standstill, offense kind of moving around here. Not everybody's kind of stagnant, not doing their thing. Dayton now in the paint here. Gets that layup there, which is really, I got to give it to him. That was a really great shot there. And contested by Clyde. That's something else.
Now the Foresters look to want to take this last shot. And now Lou Wang is going to dribble this one out. Let's see if he's going to. We talked about it in the girls' game where you go for the three or you just go for the points going into half. As we're going to see what Pulver wants to do, and a foul on number 3 for the Lancers.
Just letting us know that, hey, I'm still here. And I would have made that if that whistle not have blown. I would have done it.
Now it was not a shooting foul, so just a bonus for the Foresters.
Oh, that's nice, don't you know? Score now, 38-22.
First one goes up for Platt, and he makes it. Connor Platt gets ready for that second one, and Peyton West will be able to come back into this contest.
As he comes in for Clyde.
Now Peyton West, the thing he's going to have to do is he's going to have to recover for that technical and stay clean for the rest of this game. Now he has a chip on his shoulder, and Connor Platt makes them both, leading to an 18-point Forester lead. Here comes the Lancers. They're just going to try to finish this one out with 4 seconds left.
And Jaton with the shot just off there from the backboard. And that's the quarter here.
That was a great quarter by the Foresters. Definitely really impressive.
What did you like to see here, honestly, Carson? What did you, enjoy from this quarter?
I thought the Foresters played really well on offense, and that's what we're going to see. We actually have a coach interview right here. And so we're going to talk to Coach right now and see what he has to say about this half. Coach, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing fabulous. It's even better when the halftime score looks
I was just about to mention that. We're looking at a really good offensive performance here for the Foresters, 40-22, an 18-point lead going into the half. What's going to take for the squad to keep this up and come out with a victory today?
Just looking at the stat sheet, 24% shooting from them is a big part of this for them. I mean, we have done a great job of not giving them easy field goals. We've done a good job contesting, and our energy has been really good throughout this first half. And I think that our offense is feeding off of that defensive intensity. I think it's shots are coming easier, legs have a little more lift, and our bench was absolutely fantastic in the first half.
Absolutely. We mentioned that in the pregame. We've seen the substitutions be a little bit thin. A lot of the time we see the starting 5 out for a good majority of the game. What's the strategy to make sure more players are getting more minutes and avoiding fatigue from the starting 5?
I think the biggest thing is just making sure that those guys coming off the bench and match the intensity of how the game is going. Our guys have done that so far in this half. I mean, Andrew Yoder came in and gave us great minutes, 3 for 3 from the field. Clyde has done a great job protecting the rim for us. And Lou came in and did a really good job of just kind of making things steady for us. So I'm really proud of those guys coming off the bench, giving guys a blow and stepping up in a big game for us against a really good team.
Now, you guys are playing great defense, but the one thing is most of the points would not be there for the Lancers if it wasn't for foul trouble. And even we saw that controversial, if we're going to put it nicely, technical on Peyton West. What do you want to do with your team to avoid those fouls and keep them from getting to the line and getting those easy points?
Hey, I think the biggest thing for us is just to control what we can, and sometimes we get worried about maybe a call and how it doesn't go our way. We can control what we can control, and that's not speaking to the refs, making sure that we keep hitting our chest in front of guys. And if we do that, I think at the end of the day, the refs have not made any calls that have changed the game for us in a big way. 10 free throws, I'd like to see that number fall, but overall we've done a fantastic job on that end.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, for your time. Good luck the second half.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you guys do.
And we will be right back here for the second half here on FDN Sports.
Here in Huntington University's film program, we offer a one-of-a-kind experience. You'll have access to state-of-the-art equipment and the opportunity to gain practical experience on set. But what really sets us apart from other universities? While the films that we make are important to us, we give special attention to how we make them. In our film program, we understand the process behind making a film is just as important as the finished product you see on screen, and how we treat one another on set has a big impact. Which is why our program is part of the Kinema Commonwealth, a group of filmmakers dedicated to creating an environment of mutual respect that values individual artists over the bottom line. Our goal is to create excellent works of cinematic art and storytelling that both entertain and turn those involved into better people. We hold to 3 community values that make up the Kinema Manifesto. The first is respect for the individual, in which the time, energy, resources, and personal well-being of the artist are shown full respect. Artists are not just used for their talents, but embraced as collaborators. The second is respect for the community, where the natural environment, the local community, and the audience are all treated with the utmost care and respect. Filmmaking impacts not only the filmmakers, but those around us too. The third is respect for the art, because each filmmaker should be given artistic freedom to work creatively and to the best of their ability, while remembering that we are all working towards the same story. We believe that by living out these community values daily, the resulting projects will be works of passion, infused with the artistic voices of all the filmmakers. Our hope is that our students will not only practice these values during their 4 years here, but that they will take them into the professional industry and over time, revolutionize the way films are made in the United States and the rest of the world. We are striving to create leaders who pursue excellence in their craft while showing love and respect to those around them.
So Powder Puff football is 2 teams divided up by floors, and then they all have flags, so it's just a flag football game. And so we have the 2 end zones, and it's just like a regular game. We usually play 2 20-minute halves, and it's just a good time for everybody to get some football in since we don't have a football team here as a sport.
Let's go, Platt! Oh, snap!
Powder Puff to me is something that actually opened me up at Huntington.
And for me, just as a freshman, obviously, I get to know all the different girls on my floor, and we all grow closer together. Powder Puff just means a lot of unity between the girls on the floor and just provided a lot of good fun between all the other girls on campus as well.
Powder Puff means to me, it just signifies some of the best times that you're going to have during homecoming weekend.
What does it mean to impact your community? As a broadcast media major at Huntington University, you'll explore that question and uncover the heart of storytelling. Tell real-life stories of the world around you from day one and uncover why it matters to the campus, community, and beyond. It could be in our live TV studio through our award-winning newscast, broadcasting home athletic events, or running HU's very own radio station. You'll have the opportunity to use industry standard equipment from 4K cameras to instant replay to better prepare you for a future career. In addition to foundational courses, you'll have the chance to specialize in church media, corporate media, news, or marketing and sales. Or spend your last summer interning in one of America's largest cities, Phoenix, Arizona. In this one-of-a-kind opportunity, you'll have a home base at Huntington University's Arizona Center for Digital Media as you launch into professional opportunities catered toward your area.
I am Dr. Fred Miller. I am the Department Chair of Kinesiology and also an exercise science professor at Huntington University. Huntington University is unique as far as they get a lot of one-on-one attention from the professor, helping them learn the information or helping them minister a test, whereas some universities you don't get that one-on-one from the professors. One of our themes focuses is on being a Christian and trying to be a good role model for others. We're here, we really care about the student, we want to see that student succeed, not just preparing them for their future career, but also we want to prepare them to be a servant for God. Huntington University, we have a lot of equipment that students will get an opportunity to use and experience. Some of the equipment we have include a bod pod, which is very famous. We also have other interesting equipment that students will get to use. That equipment includes a VO2 max, a metabolic cart system. There's also a lot of equipment including other health measures. Students will get plenty of opportunity to learn how to use all this equipment, and they will get administering it to other students. Oftentimes students who get an undergraduate degree in exercise science will go on to physical therapy school, or even they will go on to physician assistant school. And then also another common career path for students is to become a strength conditioning specialist and mainly work with athletes. Exercise science is a degree where students will gain a lot of knowledge about health, but having someone that has the knowledge and experience to help an individual to get fit, to get healthy is important. And students at Huntington University, they learn about knowledge that's credible and that's important for students to have so they can help these individuals.
Everything has a beginning, a moment where a dream becomes an idea, and an idea a creation. Cutting-edge creators are engaging in the ever-changing medium of digital media. But one thing never changes, and that's story. We are storytellers. Whether it's on set, in the lab, or in the field, we are always looking to understand the heart of society and explore the depths of human nature. The goal is to make captivating, moving narratives that the world will want to view and cherish. But the journey to that goal is vital. Where you learn and how you learn makes all the difference. Every great movie or broadcast has a creative body working behind it. And those artists and technicians had to learn, had to start somewhere. They needed a place to tap into their passions and train in their craft. Digital media is a living, breathing thing, consisting of a network of moving parts. Different skills are necessary for a healthy creative body. Some skills you may not have even heard of yet. And without each of those individual breathing parts, we would look and sound a whole lot like this. We need you. In Huntington University's Digital Media Arts Department, you get your hands on equipment from day one. You don't have to wait a few years to get in the studio or get on a set. In your first year, in your first semester, you'll work in supporting roles on underclassmen projects and even get to develop your own stories. So, you want to operate the red? We can do that. Want to learn how to use...
And welcome back here to Platt Arena. I'm here with Carlson Walkins, Abdul Kamara. And that was quite the half there.
That was the best offense I've seen out of this Forester squad since about Judson. So, almost all year. So, good for them. Let's just say that. This is what we need to see from this Forester squad. But nonetheless, we have what we've seen. The Lancers have not been able to hit one three-pointer, my apologies. Yeah, and that is obviously 14. Out of 10. Out of 14, and they haven't made a single one. Only 7 for 29 from inside the line. So, you know, not what you want to see if you're a Lancer fan. But once again, most of their shots have come off of free throws out of 8 for 10. So if the Force can get this number down, they could easily run away with this game.
Definitely, and of course they have number 10 here, Hayden Dayton, who's like leading them in the total points with 10. And he's doing everything he can just to keep the squad in this game right now. So shout out to him. And of course, you know, we talked about rebounds earlier in the beginning of the game, saying how that's going to be a key major for both teams to focus on. And of course, you see Lancers here with 14 rebounds and Foresters with 25. But now looking at the Foresters, you see Connor Platt leading his team and Andrew Yoder not too far behind.
And the good thing about Andrew Yoder is, as we mentioned before, you know, he's playing really well off the bench. That's the same thing that Coach said, you know.
Yes,
he's played well off the bench, and, you know, the Foresters have been able to use those substitutions to their advantage and keep the starting five, you know, give them their rest, let some other guys get some minutes, like Lou Wang, Clyde Keurig, and Andrew Yoder, and they've added the spark that this team needs.
And, like, of course, looking at the assists as well, you know, there's not many, but Foresters now have 5 assists compared to Lancers, who only have 3. And passing the ball is such a crucial thing. But, hey, we're back at the game now. Linville taking it up the court.
Linville takes that one, and he sends it over to Jennings. Jennings sends that one over to Warner. Or my apologies, Hayden. Now Hayden has it again. He's going to dribble this one out up inside, and that one's sent out to Jennings again. And here he comes, a long three, and that'll be good to start off this second half.
That. Just got done talking about number 10, Dayton, doing his thing, doing everything he can to keep his team in this game. And now we got West out to Yoder. See what they can do. Platt now with the ball, passes down to Middlesworth. And Middlesworth unable to really get that rotational flat. Oh, a little slip up here with Suns. Just not able to really hold the ball on that run up there.
Four players from the Lancers were all in that same little area, undefended. They're really fortunate nobody wasn't on him. That could have been an easy turnover for the Foresters.
But then again, Carson, in my opinion, that goes back to the whole experience, you know. Linville now with the ball at top, looking for his team. Dayton again taking the shot here, and he banks it in. He wets it in once more.
Okay, so I might have jinxed it, saying 0 for 14. Now they're 2 for 16. But Pulver responds.
Come on now.
Pulver responds just like that.
Come on now. It ain't over yet.
It isn't over yet. It's not over till the last whistle blows, and that's something that every team has to realize, especially the trouble this Forester team had.
Hank does a great job there with that steal.
Hank shoved him to the ground, got the Grace bench on their feet, no call.
Hey, this game is nothing but dedication, it's passion, you know, on a day's work. Connor Platt at the wing here, taking a three, and he just misses it. A little bit more power and up top, that would have fell. And now we see Linville grinding it up here. Suns now with the ball, back to Linville. Out to Warner.
And another two right there.
Johnson does his thing. Peyton West, smart again, slowing the ball down, understanding time is your friend. Let's not get too crazy. Let's utilize our opportunities, not throw them away. Platt now with the ball.
This 13-point deficit isn't crazy for the Foresters, and a block shot there, and they're going to give Pulver 2. Now here comes Pulver. He's going to walk to the line. That's a second on Dayton right there, and he's going to have to be careful. Of course, that's 2 fouls on him on the day. He does not need to be removed from this game. That'd be the last thing you'd want from him. So,
most definitely.
Now Pulver's going to go up with his first one. He misses the first one. Now Pulver is going to go to the second one, hoping to give the Foresters a 14-point lead. Let's see what he does, and he does not. 0 for 2. Not something you see from Pulver very often, but luck of the draw, I suppose.
Definitely don't want to give those up too often, though. Let's hope he gets back on, his target.
Inside, and
Peyton just going at it. He's everywhere right now. Carson, he's at the line. He's in the paint. Foresters have to do something to slow him down. Pulver now with the ball. Middlesworth again now with the ball. Driving in here, using his physical physique. Unable to get that, but he gets the rebound, and it puts it back up for the double tap. That's something.
Sends that one in, but as I mentioned before, the Foresters already looks like they might have a bonus already, unless that didn't carry over in the second half, but I'm not quite sure. It's still on the scoreboard, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that one. However, we got to focus at the Foresters. They gave up more points in the last few seconds here than they gave up the entire, the last 10 minutes of the first half, so that's going to be something to keep a close eye on as Peyton West sends that one way over Andrew Yoder. He pulls an Odell Beckham, one over his head.
West now again with the ball, with the shot, and he's unable to make that Pulver there, but unable to get that rebound.
Pulver saying that it was hit, that it tapped off of Dayton's hand, but they're not going to give it to him, and it'll be Lancer ball. The Foresters now, as I mentioned before, this is going to be a game of momentum, so if the Foresters cannot slow down this great shooting attack like they did the first half, this might spell danger for the Foresters.
For sure. Linville, as you see, he's just a pawn here. He's not really shooting the ball as much. Johnson driving in and gets past the double team.
He just snuck right through like they were ghosts.
Knocked on the door and went right in. Didn't even wait. Middlesworth now passing it to Platt. Platt with the ball. See what he can do here.
Here comes Connor Platt behind the back and sends that one in for 2.
That was a beautiful take there by Connor Platt.
Got some of the student section on their feet. This is the Platt Arena's pretty full today for normal. Pink out game may be over from the girls game, but the pink still radiates here throughout Platt Arena.
Yes, sir. Dayton just been able to make that shot, and Middlesworth there taking it in, letting that ball creep in there to the hole. Nice.
And here comes once again the Lancers, and he sends that one out. Now we're seeing the Lancers were staying pretty tight with their first 5, so we're gonna have to see if I haven't seen too many substitutions for the Lancers, so we're gonna have to see how that, as they get 3 different shot clock changes in that 2 seconds.
Suns with the shot there after the beautiful rebound by the Lancers, but Yoder now with the rebound. Peyton with West with the ball.
Middlesworth using that physical, sends that one up to Connor Platt, and Connor Platt keeps that one alive. That maybe if Middlesworth is lucky, he can say that was a pass.
Yeah, Yoder now driving it in there, right at the bottom of the box there for that beautiful lay-in.
And this is the scoring drive the Foresters needed to keep this going.
And this is exactly what they're doing, keeping it going. Oh, our camera girl,
Miranda Gust.
Oh,
good job. Do you see that little spin move she had? That's what I like to see.
That's that reflection, baby.
As Lou Wang comes over to the scorer's table to announce his substitution. But a timeout on the floor. And Abdul, what do the Lancers need to do on offense to keep this going?
I gotta say, Lancers, they have to look for. They gotta be more mobile. They gotta be more explosive. More. What's the word I'm looking for, Carson? All right, I'm gonna blank on it right now, but I'm gonna come back to it. So they had to move a lot more and just be more utilize the movement on this court. I feel like they're being stagnant. They're not letting the passes really they're not letting the ball flow through them. They're kind of trying to flow through the ball and playing their own selfish game. If they move a lot more and allow themselves to get open and let the ball fly to them, I'm telling you, they might have a lot more, people taking shots other than Dayton.
Absolutely. But, and, he is dominating the score box right now, and so they're going to have to. And also, he does have 2 fouls, and they have to be careful about that, especially if you look at, the Lancers might have to pull on a full court press here. If not a full court press, then perhaps some sort of tougher defense. Maybe even start fouling intentionally a little bit earlier than they would like to. Maybe get, especially after, especially now Pulver after those 2 missed free throws has a chip on his shoulder for those intentional fouls later if they come to that at the end of the game.
But at the end of the day, Carson, they just got to work hard. They just got to work hard and push harder. Now, Lou Wang and Clyde now win.
Pass over West Head.
And now we have Linville here looking for his team, seeing what he can do. Dayton with the open 3. Doesn't make it. West with the rebound here. Nice.
Pulls it down one-handed.
And West seeing his opponent. Yoder now with the ball. Wayne coming around.
West heard those footsteps coming in from the opposite side of the court from Dayton. He was playing good defense there. Clyde comes in with this one. Hook shot. No good.
Clyde just unable to make that hook shot.
That's one thing that you see against Clyde and Middlesworth. Middlesworth, as a foul comes in.
Johnson with the take-in, just unable to get that one, but he gets the foul by Clyde.
That's one thing. You see Clyde try, just kind of, when he grabs the ball, if he's close enough, he just takes a hook shot. But you see Middlesworth kind of dig his shoulder in, get low, and try to, maybe cause a charge or get a foul on him or even just make the shot. So that's going to be interesting to see if that's what Clyde does as he develops here at HU. Now Jennings comes back into this one as the first free throw was missed.
Johnson again makes this one now.
Once again, a decent lead if you're a Forester fan, what you want to see. So we're going to have to see if they can keep that one up.
West now driving in here. Middlesworth with the shot. And it goes in from the 3-point line. And that's what I mean by you got to pass the ball. Find the open man.
Foresters with a 19-point lead. But this game is not over. Still 13.
Johnson with the shot now. Just unable to make it. But a beautiful rebound there by number 10, Dayton.
Now who's that foul going to be on? That foul is going to be called on Clyde Keurig. He even says, me? Me?
I mean, no one likes to get the foul called on them, but hey.
No, that is his third of the game, too. So, he does rack up those foul numbers, but just because the big fella, he causes those charges. Sometimes sometimes he has his hands up and everything, but just some guys try to get over him, which is a losing battle from the start.
Yep, Dayton makes the first one. And an update here on Spencer Ballinger. After he went down in the early half there, he won't be able to return back here to play the game.
Godspeed to him. Let's hope he's back in here.
But he did put up a great game for the minutes he was in. So
absolutely
looking forward to his return. But let's get back to ball now. So we have Lou Wang coming in hard now. Again, trying to communicate with his players. Back to Platt. And now to Peyton West. West now driving in here. Out to Clyde. Looked like it was going to go to Middlesworth. Oh, and they got the steal there. Suns doing a great job, and just around Middlesworth.
And Middlesworth with the block!
Come on now.
And Miranda Gus has to get out of the way again. We might need to get her a cage around her.
Yeah,
my goodness.
Honestly, this is like shark bait.
It's maybe we should just label it the Miranda Gus cam. Just
honestly, that's something else, man.
On those replays, maybe just get her like little protective barrier.
And again now, what we're going to see here, Linville again holding the ball here, looking for his team, trying to figure out what he wants to do.
And here comes Drew Johnson in the game from Payne West. We haven't seen him with too many minutes the last couple of games. Let's see how he can prove himself today as he looks for some more minutes. It's stopped again! Clyde says no thank you!
Colossal Clyde doing his thing. Come on now. Wang now. Come on, driving in here. And with the Ooh, just unable to. Clyde wanted it, but unable to get there.
The bench looking for the foul, not going to get it.
And Jennings just getting right behind Middlesworth. And Middlesworth late to see him with that great layup there. Good job by Jennings. Wang now bringing it up for his team here. Again, looking to see what he can do. Ball to Platt. Back to Wang. Clyde with the screen here. And now, Wang almost wanted to argue that.
I think Wang did argue. He was saying that he got his arm hit, but it will stay with the Foresters. That Drew Johnson comes in for the inbound.
Johnson in now for Holmes.
Now here comes Drew Johnson, going to go for the inbound here. He sends that one out to Platt. He's going to get back into it. He stayed out of bounds there for a few extra seconds. That was going to go into Clyde. Clyde not really dribbling it too much, doing some shoulder movement. And here comes, and Connor Platt gets stuffed from behind, and that'll be a shot clock violation for the Foresters.
That was something else. I mean, well, excuse me, my mic was not functioning. That was quite the play there. Now we're going to see Jennings bringing it up for his team here.
Now here comes the Foresters. We're going to have to see what, or the Lancers, my apologies, going to have to see what they're able to do. And now it's going to be sent over for hopefully a three, but not going to take it. Johnson, now right now we see Smith with it. Now Smith sends that one into Jennings. Jennings sends that one back out. That's going to be a long three. Drained it from Johnson.
And Johnson just keeping his team in this game right here. You got to give it to him. Finding those shots that he wasn't able to find in the first half now.
Forrester still with a double-digit lead, but obviously could not give that up. 10 minutes remaining as it tips off the hands of Connor Platt.
And everybody looks surprised on that one. Like, wow, there was a baby. We're right where that ball was thrown.
Protect the baby.
At all costs. And now we're going to have a timeout here.
That's one thing the Foresters, they've been a little bit slower on offense as we've seen. This isn't exactly a team that we've seen in the first half, and that's going to be something that they're going to have to focus on here, and they cannot, for all that is good and holy, let this game slip out of their hands. You know, they've had a double-digit lead for a considerable amount of time now, and losing that would obviously just be a travesty for this Forester squad. But right now, Jason and we got to check on Dayton and Spencer's back. They're carrying their team a little bit, so obviously they're going to have to rely on some of their other team members in order to hopefully come out with a victory for both squads. That's one thing. We're not seeing a very one-sided matchup from the the Foresters. We're seeing a lot of guys getting their minutes in. We're seeing a lot of guys making shots, getting to the foul line. But for the Lancers, we're seeing a pretty one-sided performance. A couple of guys carrying the whole team. And those guys are going to be fatigued if they keep this going.
Most definitely. And that's why you look for the coach to sub. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see how they can do. Jennings now with the ball. Pass it to Sons. Sons with the layup, and it goes in there for Lancers.
10-point lead now for the Lancers. This is the closest the Lancers have been in quite a while. So the Foresters obviously are going to need an offensive miracle here as Johnson takes that one and sends it over to Platt. Now West has it. He's looking around and decided to start dribbling it. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Clyde goes for the pick and gets brushed off. Now Peyton West with a shoulder movement. He's going to be, and right there we saw Johnson go up for it a little bit too early, but still was able to get the block as a long three, and that'll be no good, and Peyton West picks up the rebound.
For sure. West now slowing it down for his team here. Trying to communicate. What are we going to do? How are we going to utilize?
And Middlesworth now is going to come into this game. Johnson sends that one over to Platt. Long three. That'll be good.
Beautiful assist there by Johnson. A beautiful shot by Platt. Ooh. Johnson
with a steal. They're going to call him for a foul? Confusion on the court, and they're calling that one on Johnson for a grab of his arm.
And of course, no one's happy with that call there, but all in a day's work.
All in a day's work.
All in a day's work, right? Gotta listen, Carson. That's how it is, man.
Gotta take what the hand you're dealt.
Exactly.
as a couple substitutions come in. Drew Johnson will take a seat, as will Clyde Gehrig. That shot will go up and it will be good. As a timeout comes in for the Lancers. And now what we're gonna see in the timeout, we'll stick it right here, Abdul. How's that sound? We got a little bit of analysis to do. You know, right now the Foresters with a 11-point lead. You know, this lead just seems to get farther. It's kind of like a metronome, if you will. It's kind of like going back and forth, like, oh, considerable lead, not so much, considerable lead, little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So right now the Foresters are going to need a little bit more offense. Not too many points that we've seen this half. Not as many as expected from that first half. You know, they came into the game with about 40 points. Like, they got about 17 in this first 10 minutes. And with the Lancers, they just exploded offensively. But the question is, will it be far too little, far too late after their first half performance?
Yeah. And that is the question indeed, you know, because at a point like this, too, you know, 57-46, Lancers have the chance to come back. There's still a lot of time on that clock. However, it's utilizing the opportunities that they're given, utilizing the ball, allowing the ball to be able to move through them, and just making sure they take the right opportunities, not taking any simple or sloppy shots, not being selfish on the play.
Absolutely, and one thing you have to realize right now is the Foresters are only 2 games off from that 8th spot, that coveted 8th tournament spot that we talked about, and they're only 2 games off of the. So if they can pick up a victory today, I believe they have Taylor coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and on the 18th they have Taylor, and they have Indiana Wesleyan here in 10 days, and that's going to be a challenge that, you know, every time Indiana Wesleyan comes to town or you have to go to Indiana Wesleyan, it's never a good day.
Honestly.
But, you know, if they can win that game, finish out these last few road games, and, you know, finish out the season in Marion, that spot does not seem out of their reach.
At all. And Peyton able to get that ball back from the steal. And everyone's arguing here. Couldn't really see what's going on at the end there.
I think it might have tipped off a finger of a Lancer, and they're going to say it still went to the four. It's because even Connor Platt cut in a little too early, and I think a Lancer tried to steal it. It looked like the ball was given out before Connor Platt started running for it, so.
Now we see Dayton again with the ball here. Back to Johnson. Johnson now trying to see what he can do. Got caught up by West there. Dayton with the shot from the wing and just unable to make it. West unable to get that rebound, but it's still going to go to the Foresters.
Now, right now, Foresters still with that 11-point lead. Now they're just looking. What they're going to need here is an offensive boom. If you're ever going to need an offensive boom, this is the time. If Middleworth grabs this one, he gets bopped in the face. It looks like he got hit in his eyes, kind of blinking quite a bit. And they're going to call that a number 23, but is that a shooting foul is the question.
Nah.
It doesn't look like it. Looks like they're just going to have that one inbounded as Middlesworth. They're not sending him for a substitution yet. He's saying looks like he's saying like let's just keep playing. We're all right. As Peyton West goes for that one.
Again, you're seeing the game now start to get a little bit more aggressive here.
And that's going to be a kickball. He punted that one, if anything. He tried just to get a.
He's getting ready for Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl weekend.
And now, again, we see ball into Pulver. Pulver now slowing the game down, utilizing his opportunities here. Middlesworth again with the ball. Platt now taking it up. Back to Middlesworth. Back to Platt. And Platt with the step back 3. Ooh. Unable to hit that there. Jennings with the rebound, but West fouled.
Now Peyton West did get a foul there, as you mentioned. So looks like the ball will go to the other side of the court for the Lancers. And here we go. There's been quite a while without a score either. And also one thing you have to mention is this game is getting tough. So a jump ball will be very possible, and the Foresters will grab that because they have the possession currently.
And Warner back to Dayton. Now to Jennings. Suns with the shot, unable to make it there. Yoder with the rebound.
Now, one thing to look around the Crossroads League right now, upset alert in Mishawaka. Taylor is up 10 on the Bethel Pilots. Not exactly the game you would have expected from these two squads, but
definitely.
Even if the Foresters win, they still will be 2 points behind that coveted 8th spot. So we're gonna have to see how the final 2 minutes of that game plays out. Now here comes Yoder. He's gonna get the inbound here. Now Platt grabs that one. He's going to take it in. He's going to get it up himself. And finally the scoring begins here in Platt Arena.
And there we go. Foresters again looking how to capitalize on this lead here.
Now here comes Jennings. Jennings takes that one in himself. And it gets blocked maybe or in and out. And that's going to be a step back.
Dayton with the step back shot.
Peyton West grabs that one. He's going to take it up himself.
West now taking it up here. Pulver in the corner. Back to Yoder. Now to Platt. Platt trying to realize what he's going to do. And, ooh, Yoder with the shot here.
Someone got their ankles broke out there on the core as Middlesworth grabs out. Peyton West on a couple tips. Gets it, and he can't make the free. He cannot make that layup, unfortunately.
Oh, Jennings with the Euro step. That was something else there. I got to give it to him. Yoder didn't even know how to really respond to that one.
Now a 9-point deficit for the first time since pretty early in this first half. The Lancers are not facing a 10-point deficit. Now let's see what the Foresters can do to respond to that little tidbit of information. And Middlesworth makes it double digits yet again. Now here comes Jennings. Jennings going to take that one. Dribbles it up, sends that one over to Johnson. Johnson in between the legs, picks it up, sends that one to Warner. Warner back to Jennings. Inside, one-handed grab. Yoder just playing good defense, stood there strong, didn't budge. And Coach Platt says, easy, easy. Slow it down, time is our friend. Let's see if the Forest can go for a 13 or 14-point lead here.
Yes, sir, but it's basketball. You never know what's going to happen. With about 6 minutes on the clock, a lot could happen. Yoder now with the ball, passes it to Platt. Platt to Pulver. And now Pulver taking the shot here. And ooh.
Air ball. Now here comes Lou Wang yet again. He's going to come in for Yoder, it appears. I guess not.
He came in for
West.
West.
Came for West. I thought he pointed at Yoder, but I didn't see.
It was a quick transition.
As quick as it could be. Now here comes Jennings. Jennings sends out one to Johnson. Johnson goes up for a hook shot, and that'll bounce off a few times, and it will go in. 52-61. Foresters still with a 10-point lead, but this game is not over. 5 minutes could change a lot as Coach Platt goes to the timeout. And that'll be a full timeout, and we will take it with them this time. We have an interesting 5 minutes left, and we'll be right back here on FDN Sports.
It's hard not to have faith and to be close to God when you're out there hours on end pushing your body to its limits. We try to provide a lot of opportunities for the kids to spend time together in a constructive and meaningful way through study hall groups, devotional series, and then our practices. Huntington University is really unique in the fact that on the cross-country team, we have resources and experience and knowledge that no other NEI school has for sure. I can guarantee that.
Welcome back inside Platt Arena, 61-52. The Huntington Foresters are in the lead. Once again, looking at the race for the Crossroads League tournament spot, Bethel my apologies, that the home game actually will be in Upland today at Taylor University, which changes the momentum a little bit. Nonetheless, the Pilots still behind by 6 late in the second half. So going to be interesting to see how that is and how that will affect the end of the season for the Foresters. Here comes Lou Wang dribbling this one. Crosses him over, sends it out to Platt. Platt again from Middlesworth. Middlesworth goes for a long 3. He's going to take it in. No good. Pulver picks up his own rebound.
And now back to Yoder.
Yoder says, slow down. Everything's fine.
Exactly. Now Wang driving in here with the spin move. Back to Platt. And, ooh, Platt with the shot. And Pulver again.
And they're going to call They're going to give the ball. They're going to call Pulver for a foul. When he was the one who went to the ground, so.
Yeah, these officials are officiating.
They're officiating, that's for sure.
They are definitely officiating today. Now Lancer's bringing up the ball to Hayton, we see. See what he can do. He's been the leading scorer for his team all game. Johnson now gives it to Jennings. Jennings giving it to Warner. Warner to Johnson. Jennings now with the layup, and it goes in. Sloppy for him, but great results.
61-54 now. Yet again, the Foresters lose that 10-point deficit.
Pulver now coming in with the drive, and I think he got blocked there by Johnson.
He did, but that will stay Forester ball. That block isn't exactly what you wanted, but you get to keep the gate. You get to keep the ball in your court, so that's the good thing. Sends that one over to Lou Wang.
Lou Wang throws up a little bit there.
Now Yoder, that's a long one. He drills it! Unfazed!
Come on now. Yoder showing it what that seniority does to you.
10-point right here, and now Lancers try to respond and
Jennings slaps it back. And now we're getting to that what you can do, I can do better mentality here.
Absolutely, and we're going to have to see what goes on here. Is the Foresters going to slow down the pace? But, and also, is it time for the Lancers to put on that full court press? I'd imagine there will be a full court press here soon as Middlesworth goes in for 2 more. Once again, a 10-point game. So now we have a shootout, and now it's the responsibility for the Foresters is going to be, and he gets blocked.
And Wang does everything in his power.
And they're calling it a jump ball, and it will be Forester ball.
I gotta give it to Wang. They did everything in his power. That was great.
Everything in his power.
And he kept his hand on the ball. Good job there.
And not exactly a full court press quite yet, but Jennings is going to stay on Peyton West right there. And it looks like I wasn't quite sure if they were going to have Yoder just launch it into Platt, but that's not what they're going to do. They're just going to simply give Platt the opportunity, or West the opportunity to take the ball up himself, even with that coverage.
I'm better with numbers too. It's okay. And now we see a little. Okay, some physicality here with Middlesworth, and West able to get the rebound again and again. And
that's fine. It's stolen right there after
Jennings
a couple offensive rebounds.
On the pass.
Blocked by Pulver. Another block, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to call it on. Looks like they called that one.
They called it on Yoder there.
They called it on Yoder. I thought I couldn't say if he flashed up a 30 or 31. It was a little hard to see, and I was like, I don't think we have a number 30, if I recall correctly. A little update from Upland as this shot goes on. Taylor has not been able to score in the last few minutes, but the Pilots are cutting into this lead, but it might be a little too late for the Pilots, so once again, we'll keep you updated on that one. 57-66 here with 2:30 remaining. Both are good, and this lead has been cut into.
West now bringing the ball up here. Out to Middlesworth. About to Platt. Platt running around, and he gets in there with that layup. Platt calling a timeout here. Forced a timeout. And we're going to keep it right here. We have 2 minutes and 17 seconds left to go. Score 68-58. Foresters leading by 10. How are you feeling about this game right now, Carson?
I'm feeling good. It's been a good game. This is exactly what I expected. I expected a close shootout. With a high-scoring game. That's exactly what we've gotten here. And so, you know, we're going to have to focus on that right now for the Foresters. You know, they got to keep this offensive scoring going, and then they also got to play good defense.
Yeah.
You know, this Lancer team has exploded here in the second half from only about 22 points, most of which were from the line, and going 0 for 14 in the first half from the three-point line, to exploding like this. But as I mentioned before, was it too little too late for the Lancers? But this game is not over. This 217 will be really important.
You're not lying there. And like looking at the Lancers, as you said, was it too little too late? Lancers only did actually have one player really scoring, you know, a lot of points for them. You know, later in the half, Johnson started to wake up a tad bit, but looking at it, Lancers have a lot of work to do in this next 2 minutes. And now we'll see what's going to happen here as we prepare for Suns to inbound the ball to Johnson.
Suns going to keep it. Johnson's going to stand right there, and he's just going to let that one roll up to save some time on the clock before grabbing it. He picked it up right after, and Peyton West goes in for that one. They're going to keep it here.
Peyton trying to argue his case here, but he's not really working out for him.
Yeah, it did look like it did. It didn't change directions, which it would have if Peyton would have gotten a hand on us. I think that might have, you know, I couldn't quite see if it tapped his hand or not, but it didn't change direction. Peyton West gets blocked, and he might have gotten a little bit of a piece of skin there, but no call.
Johnson able to recover the ball for the Lancers. Dayton now with the shot, and it goes in.
And a timeout called. 61-68, 1:52 remaining on the clock. Just take a deep breath if you're at home. This is going to be an interesting last minute, 52 seconds. And, you know, both teams with 3 timeouts. Lancers keeping it closer than expected, that you would have thought. Like, it was 22-40, so the Foresters have only gotten about 28 points compared to the Lancers approximately 50 or so in the second half. So once again, just a change of direction in this game. And, you know, usually this is where the Foresters are. Usually the Foresters are the ones coming back into it and then trying their best to stay in it. But now the Lancers are fighting, and, you know, neither of these teams want overtime, and neither of these teams want to lose. So it's going to be an offensive and a defensive fight to the end, and it's mostly going to be on defense for the Foresters.
Yes, sir. You're not lying. And we'll see. You know, the clock is the Foresters' friend at the moment. If they're able to hold this game out for a little bit longer, just a minute and 52 seconds, probably score a little bit, you know, play a lot of defense.
1 or 2 buckets could easily be a game changer. You know, even just 4 points could be amazing for this Forester team, but those 2 buckets could easily put the Lancers in, you know, last second shot contention. As this ball is going to be inbounded here, Peyton West grabs it, and there's that full court press as Connor Platt gets it and gets it off. And plenty of time, was not even close to that 10-second backcourt violation, and the intentional fouling starts. Now here comes Yoder. Yoder's going to send that one into Platt. Platt back to Yoder. Yoder to West. West carrying it a little bit. Probably going to milk out most of this 14 seconds left on the shot clock, and a make here could be huge for this Forester team. Middlesworth with a pick. 6 seconds left. Here comes Pulver. He's going to pull this one in. Pulver, and that's going to be a miss, and it will. And here comes this could be the Lancers' most important possession of this game.
Of course. And, of course, now they're looking around to see what they can do. Jennings takes the shot here. Misses. Johnson is able to not recover that ball.
And a little meeting under the basket for the Foresters. 1:09 remaining. And Coach Platt on the court a little bit, just yelling out his commands. Miss here. Let's see what happens. No good. Rebound.
Yoder able to slap that out of his hands.
The Lancers did get another 22nd, but these missed shots are cutting into the time. And, even if they pull down those rebounds, they're still cutting into their time. Foresters are keeping it out of bounds, slowing the pace of this game. Goes up for 2. No good yet again. And another offensive rebound. And then finally, the Foresters will grab it.
Yeah, if Ryan Lockhart was here, he definitely would have called that foul.
It looked like it spun off of Caleb Middlesworth's head.
Yeah. A lot of jumping. And now
a foul.
Ooh.
And the intentional fouling continues. But no bonus, surprisingly, yet. So the Foresters are still going to have to inbound this one. I think after this, they will grab that bonus. 5 fouls for the Lancers and 6 for the Foresters, and another intentional foul for Peyton West. Now the Foresters are in the driver's seat right now. If they can get 2 more at the line, almost make this game out of reach. But the question is, if they get that bonus, they're going to have to make those free throws. As my good friend Abdul would say, if it's free, it's for me. Connor Platt gets fouled again.
Taking the opportunity here to go at the line, it seems. Yep.
This next 45 seconds may be about 10 minutes, but we'll see. Now, Connor Platt, I think something that, kind of haunted him this season is he had this opportunity against Mount Vernon and missed a bonus shot, and the Mount Vernon was able to send it, and Connor Platt denies. He forgets the ghost in his closet and decides just to make that one, giving the Foresters a little bit more comfortable of a lead.
Casper who?
And both
he
of them
shows him. He means business.
Now, if the Foresters can get the shot clock under 20 seconds, they can just dribble this one out. And a foul called on Peyton West.
Peyton looking like, hey, man, it's not me. But he's going to take it.
It's been about 2 minutes since there was 50 seconds on the clock, so just keep it going. That's how the end of these games, especially when they're tight like this, go. And a make there. 62-70, 8-point game now. And the second one goes up, and it will be good. And here comes a full court press yet again. 10 people on that inbound. And Pulver, here comes Peyton West. Is he going to go in for his own? He misses it. Oh, no. And that one will go to the Lancers.
And now we see it. Now we're going to get a timeout here by the Lancers. Man, Carson, a lot just happened there.
A lot just happened.
I feel like I zoned out and zoned back in. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
What happened?
It appears that West missed a breakaway, which is incredibly unfortunate. Not something you see from him a lot. He's had a little bit of trouble under the basket today. Not something you usually see from him, but costly to say the least. But, now this game is obviously in reach for this Lancer team, and this last 33 seconds is going to be crucial. Now what we're going to have to see here is what the Lancers do if they miss the shot. If they make the shot, they'll still be down 4, so this game will be very winnable.
Yeah.
But if they don't get it off in 3 seconds, the Foresters get the entire shot clock. The shot clock will be dead for both squads. And if the Foresters are able to capitalize on those free throws from this bonus after they start intentionally fouling, this is going to be, as I said, this last 50 seconds is going to be about 10 minutes, and I've just about predicted it right. It's been about 7 minutes now since there were 50 seconds left on the clock.
Feels about right.
If my measurements are right. But hey, you know what they say, I get paid by the hour to sit here.
You and me both.
7 points right now for the Foresters. Now here comes Johnson. Now another thing to pay attention to, now the Lancers with the possession after a jump ball earlier in this game. Peyton West stays in despite that miss. And now a missed shot will give the Foresters.
Sons with the shot here, just unable to. Oh, Jennings with the rebound and with the shot again. And again, unable to.
Pulver, Connor Platt backs off of that one.
And he makes
that one goes in.
Wow. Now we'll
a couple
see
missed opportunities.
Fouls.
A little bit of malfunction on the clock here caused a lot of people in the crowd to kind of jump. Everyone looked at the clock and saw it was still running after the whistle was blown. Another couple seconds will be added. $23. I bet the Foresters would have liked that clock to keep running, but
yeah.
I couldn't quite. Yeah, there's a discussion going on at the scores table now.
Of course, this is why you don't add a clock or you don't add time.
Yeah. But then again, we did see it run after the whistle was blown.
That definitely.
But we couldn't quite tell how much it is, and unfortunately, there's no replay system out right now. Unfortunately, so can't really see the scoreboard. So now it's just gonna go on word of mouth, and they're just gonna switch it up to 17.1. As I thought it was about 17. Not good news for the Lancers. I bet the Lancers wouldn't have minded that extra few seconds, but nonetheless, it will not. Connor Platt even looked back and said, "It's not 23, is it?" And a missed shot there. Clyde picks it up, and
back there, Clyde doing a great job, and he gets the intentional foul again.
Yet again, Connor Platt has a chance for redemption here. Now we're gonna see Brown or Jennings come back into this game late, and a timeout here for the Lancers, and they're gonna game plan now. Metaphorically, Abdul, you're the coach of the Lancers. What are you saying in this huddle right now?
Wow. Boys, get that rebound and attack. Get that rebound and attack as fast as you can and as hard as you can. It's a matter of get that shot up, get in his head, play the mental game at this point, because it's 12 seconds on the clock, and you still have to run the ball up the court.
Yeah, and that last shot could be, especially worst case scenario, a 4-point play for the Foresters. Yeah. That is the absolute 100% worst case scenario. Yeah. Which I think if if you're Coach Platt, you're saying if they get down there, don't foul them. Don't risk it.
Don't foul them. Exactly.
Especially if they get or even another worst case scenario, they get 2 shots, make one, intentionally miss the other, and pick up the rebound. But Connor Platt will say nope. All my worst case scenarios are now mathematically unlikely.
Exactly.
And Peyton West and Hank Pulver are playing back, and Connor Platt makes them both. So not a lot of scoring room right now for the Lancers.
And Jennings now with the ball. Dayton now with the shot off. Pulver able to grab it, and he's going to be intentional foul there.
And Pulver with 2 shots here could all but it looks like it's about mathematically over now, but I don't know. I don't like playing the prediction game too much because I don't want to end up on a cold take.
All right, bet. I'll say it for you. Let me see these 2 shots, and then we'll get talking.
And it is a double bonus as well. And now we see everyone but Pulver standing in the paint, and he's going to drill that first one. Forster's doing some statting right here at the some stat padding here at the end. And Pulver goes up for a second one. He'll drill that one too.
That's that answer for you there, right there.
And a last-second shot. He's going to make it. They're going to give it to him, but it did not matter as the Foresters pick up a much-needed win at home.
Exactly, Carson.
And obviously what we're going to have to focus on now for the Foresters for the rest of the season, a couple tough games coming up until that final February 18th battle at Marion. It's going to be incredibly important for them to win out here and grab a couple more wins as a fight for that Crossroads League tournament. And so we'll be right back here in a few minutes on FDN Sports with hopefully a coach interview and some post-game stats.
Here in Huntington University's film program, we offer a one-of-a-kind experience. You'll have access to state-of-the-art equipment and the opportunity to gain practical experience on set. But what really sets us apart from other universities? While the films that we make are important to us, we give special attention to how we make them. In our film program, we understand the process behind making a film is just as important as the finished product you see on screen, and how we treat one another on set has a big impact. Which is why our program is part of the Kinema Commonwealth, a group of filmmakers dedicated to creating an environment of mutual respect that values individual artists over the bottom line. Our goal is to create excellent works of cinematic art and storytelling that both entertain and turn those involved into better people. We hold to 3 community values that make up the Kinema Manifesto. The first is respect for the individual, in which the time, energy, resources, and personal well-being of the artist are shown full respect. Artists are not just used for their talents, but embraced as collaborators. The second is respect for the community, where the natural environment, the local community, and the audience are all treated with the utmost care and respect. Filmmaking impacts not only the filmmakers, but those around us too. The third is respect for the art, because each filmmaker should be given artistic freedom to work creatively and to the best of their ability, while remembering that we are all working towards the same story. We believe that by living out these community values daily, the resulting projects will be works of passion, infused with the artistic voices of all the filmmakers. Our hope is that our students will not only practice these values during their 4 years here, but that they will take them into the professional industry and over time, revolutionize the way films are made in the United States and the rest of the world. We are striving to create leaders who pursue excellence in their craft while showing love and respect to those around them.
So Powder Puff football is 2 teams divided up by floors, and then they all have flags, so it's just a flag football game. And so we have the 2 end zones, and it's just like a regular game. We usually play 2 20-minute halves, and it's just a good time for everybody to get some football in, since we don't have a football team here as a sport.
Let's go, nice, go,
Powder Puff to me is something that actually opened me up at Huntington.
And for me, just as a freshman, obviously, like I get to know all the different girls on my floor, and we all grow closer together.
Powder Puff just means a lot of unity between the girls on the floor, and just provided a lot of good fun between all the other girls on campus as well.
Powder Puff means to me, it just signifies some of the best times that you're going to have during homecoming weekend.
Hi, I'm Carson Watkins, joined by my winning head coach today, Coach Platt. Coach, definitely a statement win for this squad. A win this squad very much needed. What did you see from your guys that you liked today?
I liked the way that we started the game. I thought the first half was as good at the defensive effort as we've had all year. I thought that we had just a real attention to detail. I thought we were connected, and I thought that we were engaged. And what I mean by that is we were talking through switches that we wanted to do and how the actions that they were running. And consequently, I thought we challenged everything pretty well. They go 0 out of 14 from the 3-point line in the first half. So, that set the tone for the game. And then in the second half, they came out and they battled, and they got a couple of quick threes, and so our guys responded, though. I thought our 2-3 did a pretty good, decent job when we ran that a couple times. And then we just, we need to finish games and win the game. And I'm glad our guys did that. But we had some big play out about everybody that played.
Absolutely. And I was going to mention everyone that played. We saw a lot of bench players come out today, something that we haven't seen a lot from this squad. Yeah. What did you see from your bench that you liked, and what improvements do you want to make off the bench?
Well, we're a very young basketball team, so pretty much people that are coming in, whether we have even starters that are young, but Clyde continues to get better, and I thought Lou did a good job for us in there as well. But, one guy that's older, the only other senior besides Connor is Andrew Yoder, and he had a big day today. He came in the first half, got a couple offensive rebounds, which were really big for us. We got Connor that's dealing with the flu and sickness, so he had to keep coming out, for a little minute and a half spells and that kind of thing. So we needed other people to step up, and we got that today. So overall, when Spencer goes down with his injury and so forth, you got to have other people rise to the occasion, and I thought we did that.
Absolutely, Coach. And we have a road game this week, and that's going to be another tough one as a fight for that number 8 spot. Unfortunately, Taylor did come out with the upset against Bethel today, but you guys got the really tough challenge that you have to circle on your calendar every year in Indiana Wesleyan. What are you looking for out of your team these next 2 games?
Well, we got to go on the road to Goshen and go on the road to Mount Vernon, so they're going to be hard games to play because going on the road's tough. But we just got to come out and fight. We're in a mode now where it's just playoff mode for us. We were trying to get in and trying to get better and do all those things. So this was a must-win deal, and every one of them is in some regards. So we're just going to go fight, play hard. Our guys are staying together well. They're fighting hard for each other. They love each other. It's fun to see some of that because there's been teams in the past, and I know there's a lot of teams across the country that wouldn't happen. But our guys, they love each other, and that makes a big difference.
Yep. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. Have a great day. And now we're going to send it back to Abdul for some post-game analysis.
Thank you, Carson. Appreciate it. So here we saw a great game between Huntington and Grace, and obviously it was. I don't want to say it was tight, Carson, but it was pretty eventful. Of course, looking at both teams, we see here for the field goal percentage on Grace, we saw they shot at 33%, excuse me. And from the three-point line, they shot about 18%. Not their best, but they tried. And, of course, from Huntington, we see 41% from the field goal and 42% from the three-point line. Now, that's a great, outstanding, statistic there for the team for Huntington.
Absolutely. And one thing we have to focus on is the Forrester squad played with attention to detail, and as I just talked about with Coach Platt, they played really well off the bench, and their off the bench play was just astounding, and that's something that we haven't seen from them. Like, as I mentioned, their time off the bench was a little skittish from here on out, but as he mentioned, Spencer Ballinger went down with an injury. We saw Drew Johnson out there put out some good games, and there was even a little bit of anger on the court from both sides with a little bit of the officiating calls, but everyone kept their head in the game, and that's what winning teams do, and we're happy that it was a win today.
Most definitely.
And I think that'll do us all for here at FDN Sports. We want to thank everyone who tuned in today, and we'd like to thank Vera Bradley for helping us out with the breast cancer. My mom's a survivor personally, so breast cancer is very important to my life. It's not important to my life, but breast cancer awareness is really important to my life, and the fact that we were able to come out here today and raise quite a bit of money for breast cancer awareness. And I love you, Mom. I'm proud of you. You're a survivor, and I love you so much. For Carson Watkins, Abdul Kamara, thank you for joining us here on FDN Sports.
Catch and fire. It's on the... He made it!